Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. General Hospital fans are asking who planted the bomb in Sonny Corinthos. Maurice Bernard, penthouse that nearly killed Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell. So we know that whoever bombed Sonny's penthouse was not going after Michael, because he wasn't even supposed to be there. Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, also wasn't supposed to be there, and he's kind of in and out. So, I think it's pretty safe to say that Sonny was the primary target. At first, it seemed like Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, was behind it. And I actually think that that might have initially been the case and been what they wrote. But then the writers might have decided, okay, we don't want to do that. They have a bad habit of introducing characters as a villain, doing awful things. Then they're like, oh well, we like the actor, or we like the character, and they're going to keep them around. Then they have to kind of redo and clean up the character a bit. They're doing it with Natalia, and they did it with Sonny. I mean, they've done it with so many characters. So the reason I think it wasn't initially meant to be him was the night that Sidwell moved into Windermere. He was sipping champagne, looking out at Port Charles from the balcony. Lucy Coe, Lynn Herring, had pointed out the sights he could see, which included the building where Sonny lives. Then, Sidwell skipped over with glee to stare out the window. There were just a lot of red flags, so I think the writers pivoted, but we'll see. He's still not a good guy. But looks like they're trying to keep him around, so they've pushed it off. So now we have Jason saying that he believes Sidwell is not guilty. Jason confronted him. Sidwell's like, I didn't do it. Jason really believes him. So you know that's kind of gospel that seems to take him out of the running. That means we still don't know for sure who tried to take Sonny out. His list of enemies is long, but 5 people top the list as bombing suspects. The first one is someone we just saw, Valentine Cassadine, James Patrick Stewart. He already tried to kill Sonny before, more than once. Plus, Valentin had been the one tampering with Sonny's bipolar medication, so he'd go off the rails and get him out of the way. That was back when Valentin was running Pikeman, and he wanted to use Sonny's territory. So, Valentin may have wanted to finish what he started. Also, we don't know that Pikeman is really shut down, even though he's on the run. You know, they might still be operating under the radar. Valentin could still be involved to some extent, even while he's, running around with Charlotte Cassadine, Scarlett Fernandez. Another big clue that hints it might be Valentin is that the bomb that was used to blow up Sonny's place seemed to be of WSB design, possibly of origin, maybe something taken from them or designed by them. Valentin, has been neck-deep with the WSB on and off for decades. That actually leads us to the next suspect who is tied to Valentin and might have blown up Sonny's place. So, the second suspect, if Valentin's not the bomber, maybe it is his former friend, Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna. Like Val, we know Jack is WSB, has been for years. Plus, he's, occasionally a dirty guy. He was running Pikeman before he landed out at Pentonville. And then Valentin took over. Now things have pivoted again, and Jack is the chief of the Port Charles WSB station. The fact that the bomb is one of the WSB makes Jack a likely suspect. Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, actually thought from the jump that it might have been him. And if so, Jack's reason for going after Sonny could be about Pikeman because he may still have a finger in that pie, or it might have to do with Carly Corinthos Spencer, Laura Wright. Jack is totally smitten with Carly. They were getting a lot closer, and up until the time of, the bombing, he was still kind of hot and heavy for now. Things have cooled off. I think it's going to heat back up, we'll see. So Jack might have just wanted to get Sonny out of the way so he's not a threat to his growing relationship with Carly. And that would give Jack access to the docks to use for the WSB to use for Pikeman business. I will say Jack seems a less likely bombing suspect, however, since he's ruthless and had access to the bomb materials. And at one point did have a motive because of Pikeman. We got to keep him on the suspect list. Next up is somebody who's dead, Cyrus Renault, Jeff Kober. Yes, he's pushing up daisies, but the bombing at Sonny took place when Cyrus was still alive, and Sonny's been a top target of Cyrus since he first came onto the General Hospital scene. At first, he wanted Sonny's cooperation. Then, Cyrus wanted to kill Sonny so he could take over his territory. Since then, Cyrus claims he had changed and that he found God, but Cyrus's twisted religious epiphany had him going around Port Charles killing people like Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, like Dex Heller, even Hofer. He was thinking he's some twisted warrior of God to, get these people out of the way that are interfering with his mission. Of course, he tried to kill Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning, twice to release her as part of his mission. Plus, Cyrus was ruthless. He stabbed Dex, looked like intentionally non-fatally, to get him into GH so he could finish him off with Digitalis. More recently, he almost killed Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, with an axe because she found evidence in his cabin to expose him. Perhaps Cyrus's motives for killing Sonny changed and became more about his mission. Not about mob violence because danger follows Sonny everywhere, puts his children at risk, puts innocent lives at risk. So Cyrus might have thought he was doing a service by ending Sonny so no one else would get hurt because of him, just like that service he was performing killing people at General Hospital. Alright, the next possibility is someone connected to Sonny in a personal way, rather than through business or being a mob rival. That's his brother, Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, who recently came back to Port Charles. It's no secret he hates Sonny. He always has. Rick resents Sonny for being raised by their mom, who abandoned Rick and chose the other family back in the day. Rick was much shadier and more ruthless than what we're seeing now. He was just an all-around bad guy. He kidnapped Carly when she was pregnant because he was going to steal her baby and pass it off as his and Elizabeth Weber's, Rebecca Herbst. It was crazy. So Rick is absolutely capable of cruel and devious and violent things. His rivalry with Sonny is still going strong, and part of it is Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Gran. Rick feels that Alexis favors Christina, her daughter with Sonny, over Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos, her daughter with Rick, and that's a big problem. He's chewed Alexis out about it many times. Plus, Rick is now romantically involved with Sonny's other baby mama, Ava Jerome, Maura West, who was in that custody battle. And getting Sonny out of the picture would benefit Rick in many ways. Plus, it would help Ava because she'd have sole custody of her daughter. And they wouldn't have to worry about Sonny being a danger to Avery. So, the very last person who might have targeted Sonny and bombed his penthouse on General Hospital could be connected to the FBI and to the murder of Jagger Cates, Adam Harrington. Remember last year, Sonny killed Jagger because he was rogue and dangerous and determined to put Sonny in prison for the rest of his life. I will say that Jagger's motives were legit. What Sonny did to Karen back in the day was truly heinous. I talked about it in a recent video. However, Jagger was coloring outside the lines, and that's why Sonny ended up just shooting Jagger in cold blood. It wasn't an accident. They weren't struggling over a gun, and it went off. Nope, Sonny just shot Jagger point blank with intent to kill, which is kind of messy on the part of the writers. This was back when they were changing writers like most people change their socks. Sonny never was arrested, not even really investigated. He didn't go to prison, nothing came of it. So there may be someone out there who wants to punish Sonny for killing Jagger, and maybe it is that he had some family member we don't know about looking for payback. He might have had a love interest on General Hospital. Someone who is angry because they know Sonny killed Jagger and that he got away with it. And they want him to pay. Could be somebody in the FBI that was close to Jagger, a fellow agent who considered him a brother in arms. And if Sonny's bombing is tied to the FBI, then that would at least tie up the loose end about Jagger's murder, which would be great. These 5 suspects all had reasons to kill Sonny.